launch your coaching business fast. Welcome to Season 7 of the Coach Pony podcast, and we are here to help you get paid to coach. In this season, we are going to cut through the noise and show you how to launch your coaching business fast. So strap in and get ready to step on the gas.
It's lights out and away we go! Hello, I'm on the track watching the coaches line up before the start, and I want to check in and see if they're ready. Let's go to Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff for his take on the action.
In any business, there are problems. For us, there are always problems with the car or problems with the driver, no matter how good they are, and we must constantly work to solve them. It's the same for coaches. So, let's go to the track and learn more.
Let's go to the track.
I'm not sure I want to do this again, I emailed my growth team. I don't think it worked out as well as we wanted last time, and so I don't think we should pursue it. Let us look into this a bit further, they wrote back. We'll get back to you with some more information. Their next email back to me was triumphant. Oh, you need to do this again, they shared. Your top-line sales were almost the same as last time, just a tiny bit lower, but your profit margin was so much greater this time around. Definitely don't give this activity up. I was surprised at first because I thought I had been right. I thought we were wasting time on a marketing effort that wasn't working. But it was just based on a feeling, not real information. And the real information told a much different story. Okay, as coaches, we are really, really great at understanding our feelings and being really fine-tuned into our intuition. But for some of us, not all, but for some of us, our focus on feelings and intuition can lead us to neglect the numbers. And every successful business runs on numbers: sales, profit, revenue, expenses, leads. These numbers all matter. Because what you focus on grows, and the more you know, the easier it is to make big decisions about where to spend your time and what you should be doing more of and what you should be doing less of. So after you launch your business, it's important to begin tracking a few things. I don't want to overwhelm you right now in one easy podcast, but I do want to share a couple of key pieces from phase 2 of our Build a Real Business program to help you right now. And as always, you are more than welcome to join us in Build a Real Business, which we call BARB, over at coachpony.com/BARB. Phase 2 is included for free in the program. So before we begin, I am making one core assumption. And that assumption is that you've got a tested and clear niche. So you know already that you are in a niche where people want coaching help and they are also willing to pay for it. That's key to having a very successful launch as a coach. Okay, now that we've made that assumption, I want to share some information with you to help you focus your energy and diagnose any problems you may be having in your new coaching business. Common problems are usually things like, I am not getting any clients and nothing I'm doing is working. If this is you, I totally hear you. It's frustrating, but of course I have some help. So the first piece of information that I want to share with you is that coaching is really a numbers game, like any business. You've got to reach a lot of people in order to get a few paying clients. And sometimes coaches think that they are failing when the truth is they're doing everything right. They just haven't reached quite enough people yet. So let me repeat that. They haven't reached quite enough people yet. Please don't sell yourself short if you're struggling. Instead, I want you to take a step back and I want you to start looking at some data. Now, there's a lot of data you can look at. We go over all of it in the Build a Real Business program, but for today, I'm just going to give you a few easy examples to jumpstart your thinking. Let's start with something super simple. How many people have visited your website? Now, side note, we have not covered website in this podcast series because you do not need a website on day one of your coaching business. But if you do want help and insight for your website, we have plenty of help for you on coachpony.com. If you go to either our blog page or our podcast page, and search for the word website. So take a moment and do that if you want a little bit more help with your website. All right, back to today's lesson. So numbers really matter. To give you an example, most coaches don't realize that only a handful of people who visit your website are going to take any action at all. And when I say a handful, I really do mean it. 1% to 2% of people who visit your website might take an action. So if you have 100 website visits, maybe one person will sign up for a free consult or download your freebie if you have one. The same is true of your email list. Only a fraction of your email list will actually click on a link to chat with you or to buy your program. Remember, you might not be doing anything wrong. You just might not have reached enough people yet. A good place to start if you already have a website is to install Google Analytics and start tracking your website data and see what you can learn. How many people are visiting your website? And what pages are they spending time on? Focus there first. You have a problem if you have 5,000 website visitors per month and no one is taking any action. You do not yet have a problem if you have 300 visitors and only a couple of people have done anything. In the second scenario, the only thing you need to worry about is driving more people to your website to view your services and sign up for something. So go back and listen to the last episode of this podcast for some quick help with marketing to make sure that you are more visible and reaching more people. And you can go to acoachpony.com/marketing for an in-depth video all about how to market your business, or please do both. So if you have a lot of people visiting your website and no one's taking action, then you need to look at your website copy and see what you want to change. Look at those calls to action. Look at how you're connecting with people. Assess if what you're writing is really compelling. And maybe have a friend or family member take a 5-second look at your website and see if they even understand what you're doing as a coach. And again, if you only have a handful of people visiting, don't worry about what's on your website right now. Worry about getting more people to your website and then see what they do. Okay, just to backpedal a bit, since I said you don't need a website on day one in your coaching business, the other big number I want you to track right now is related to your sales funnel. And it's this: how many free consults turn into paying clients? The answer should be 25% or more. But I want to be clear, it's very rare that it would be 100%. You often need to talk to several people, 3 or 4, to close one paying coaching client. So you often need to do 3 or 4 consults or free coaching sessions to close one paying coaching client. Now, if you are talking to the right audience in these consults or free sessions, and the right audience is people in your niche who can mostly afford coaching, and you are also doing a compelling sales consult, then you're going to close 25% or more of your clients. If you're doing 25%, awesome. If you're doing more, even better. And if you need help with this, in the last season of the podcast, we have a real life example of a real sales consult. So go back and listen. Now, let's say you're not closing 25%, you're closing less than that. So in that case, one of 2 things is wrong. So the first thing that could be wrong is you might not be talking to people in your niche who can afford coaching. So they're just simply not the right clients for you. The second thing that could be going wrong is you might really be talking to the right people, but you yourself are not doing a great job communicating your value as a coach. It's not a great consult. So how do you figure out which one of these issues is really what's at play here? So the simple solution is to reflect after each and every consult. I give my Build a Real Business students a detailed form to help them capture the right information. But for now, you can just use any notes app and ask yourself a few questions right after you're done. So the first question is definitely going to be, was this person in my niche? So did they fall into your demographic and goal that we talked about earlier in this season? The second question is, do I think they can afford coaching? And give an honest answer. So you'll probably know a little bit about what they do for work, what their family situation is after doing a consult, and you'll be able to take a guess about whether they might have the means or not to afford coaching. Some people genuinely cannot afford coaching, and that's of course okay. We always want to be clear on how often we're speaking to people who are in our audience, who are the right audience, which is in our niche and can afford coaching, so that we judge our efforts accordingly. Then ask yourself another set of questions, like, how did the consult go on a scale from 1 to 10? Was there any part where I felt I was confusing or I was hesitant? Did the client seem confused at any part of the consult? Do I feel like I communicated the benefit of coaching clearly? And did I name my pricing with confidence? And then note down your responses again. If you aren't sure about how to answer the second series of questions, if you aren't sure if you're being a little bit confusing, if you're not sure if you're being compelling, then grab a friend or family member or fellow coach and have them role play being a client, and then get them to give you this feedback on your consult in terms of how it made them feel, how credible you seemed, how clearly you described everything, how compelling it was, and go from there. So we've talked a little bit about website traffic as an easy example to see what's going on in your business, but sales funnels are actually something I really want you to focus on too. And then a final number to track, just to keep yourself honest, is how much time you are spending on your marketing channel. So remember, you're not here to do all the things, but you do need to spend a lot of time marketing. So please, every week, start to track how much time you're actually spending marketing. I say this because I sometimes have students come to me and say, I'm spending a lot of time marketing and I'm not getting any results. But when I ask them how much time they're actually spending marketing, it sometimes adds up to less than an hour a week. And honestly, please, that's not enough time. When you're a new coach, you need to spend hours every week on your marketing, consistently being visible on your platform. It takes time, but that's how you get paying clients. So I know, again, this is a lot of information, so let's take a moment to recap. The first thing I want you to remember is that numbers really matter in your coaching business. There are plenty of times when you're doing everything right and you just haven't reached enough people yet. So please don't give up if you're struggling. Instead, look at your numbers to help you determine where you can improve. An easy place to start is with your sales funnel, doing some reflection on how many people say yes to hiring you after a free consult or a free session, and then thinking about what you can tweak so that you can get more people to say yes. Remember, what you focus on grows, and the more focus you bring to your numbers and your data, the more they're going to grow in a positive way. I sketched out our new and very different plan for the next year in a team meeting, highlighting the strategy on a flip chart. I asked for the team to back up my numbers in order to confirm that what I shared matched the data they'd seen as well. The answer was yes. The strategy I decided on was a little bit different than anything else we had tried, but I had learned the hard way over the years to use data to help us formulate our plans. And you know what? It worked. It was an amazing year. Data really does make a difference. I want to wrap up this episode with a Pit Crew pep talk because you've heard from my story that I've never, ever succeeded alone. I rely on a team, just like no driver in Formula One ever competes alone. The team and the Pit Crew is there to do important support work, from standard support like changing the tires and adding some gas, to giving you launch data just when you need it. And so I'm turning it over to one of my favorite people in my personal Pit Crew, Bobbi Palmer. From datelikeagrownup.com, if you are a woman over 40 looking for love, please go check her out. Bobbi, can you please give a pep talk to everyone listening who might be struggling a little bit in their business?
Oh, it feels crappy when something doesn't work, especially when you work so hard. I could think of, endless number of programs that I put out there that either just failed or just kind of didn't work. And especially ones that I tried really, really hard to make successful. So remember, you have to learn from it. This is exactly what makes you better. Everything you do is a step forward. Every single decision you make, whether it turns out to make you money, whether it turns out to make you happy at the time, whether it turns out to add clients, whatever, it's still a really good step forward. So go for it and just know, you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Welcome to being human and to being an entrepreneur.
And if you want us on your pit crew, come on over to CoachPony.com. We've got tons of free resources for you to help you in your business, including an amazing free 14-minute class all about how to find paying clients. You can join us at CoachPony.com/marketing.
Okay, we've started the engines. Let's check in with Pitwall. Toto, what's happening next?
Next up, we are talking about how to achieve lasting success in your coaching business. The way Mercedes won 7 consecutive world championships in Formula One. You can do it.
And with that, I'll see you next time.